Hmm. Hi, Future BK here. Just finished editing this episode you're about to watch. It is a fever dream of an episode, all over the place, completely unhinged. So buckle up, uh, or you will get flung from the vehicle. Enjoy! Oh no, I'm not actually building anything. I just needed something to put behind the title card. I've betrayed you before we even got started today. And how does that make you feel? What to do? Oh, yuck. Hang on. I guess these oxidize now. But we can fix that. Boom. Much better. I do have something planned for today already. I'm just not sure if it's going to be enough to fill out a whole episode, so I was trying to come up with a little filler project. But first, let's make good on our homework from last episode. Behold, one finished blaze farm. As long as you don't look around too much. It's pretty close to finished. It's functional. Does that count? If you said yes, you're an enabler and you're not helping. Of course it doesn't count. We have to finish it right now. All right, now you at least walk into a completed room. I did want to swap this for a campfire and see how it looked. I'm going to try the campfires for right now. If you have any strong opinions one way or the other, let me know, because I'm genuinely unsure as to how I feel about these. And last thing I wanted to do in here was add a little bit of storage, just so we've got some overflow and don't have to find a place to store all these blaze rods somewhere in the storage room at the base. And as promised, it is about as low-tech as it can possibly be. It's also kind of ugly on the outside. I did try to decorate it. I'll probably come back in and add some more blackstone shapes on the outside so it's not just a square. But I know you can move blazes with like pistons and stuff, and I'm sure, but I know there's more efficient ways to make blaze farms. But I also know you can move them with lava. So I just made it like I would make any other mob collection area with water, and just have them get dumped into this little middle pit here, and they drop down. They're not softened at all, but I can then take my looting 3 sword and kill them all, and it's a pretty good XP farm too. Better than the skeleton farm anyways. But yeah, I think this is gonna do the trick for us as far as having access to blaze rods, and if we want to do something else in the future, we can. Also, why is this chest facing this way? I don't know. It's fine. No, it's not. No, it's fine. I fixed it. Alright, we've got to find us a filler project before we can start on the main one. Good gracious, it's noisy in here. Alright, this chest has been here since before we put any of these farms in this room, and it's just my plant stuff. They're not really blocks, and they're not really crafting items, so I feel like they deserve their own storage building. And speaking of plant stuff, check out our new moss farm. This is actually a bone meal farm created by Basic Redstone on YouTube, so check them out. I just tweaked it a little bit so we also get a buttload of moss from it as well. It's also still a bone meal farm. But maybe we can incorporate this into the plant storage facility somehow. Alright, I've done some research, and apparently people often keep their plants in something called a greenhouse. Not sure what that is, but sounds simple enough. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit here and try and come up with a cool design for a greenhouse. Am I saying that right? Greenhouse. Greenhouse. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this greenhouse design. Check it out.
ははは。
Huh. What?
あなた WA ソアを間違っと帰宅しました。
What do you mean? It's a greenhouse.
ソア WA 音質です。
That's what I said.
グルでアクサングラーブ音質一重引用符を検索。
Okay. Hang on. Dang it! Alright, now for today's main attraction. That's right. It's infrastructure! Yay! Exciting, I know. Right now, nothing is connected, so what we need is a system for getting from place to place, regardless of where they're built in our world. All right, so let's set some ground rules, and we'll start with spawn because that's where we're going to spend most of our time. I spent a lot of time designing the builds that we built here, and I want to experience the things that I've built. So stuff like Elytra, that's meant for traveling. I want to spend my time here at spawn at ground level. So we're talking things like horses, and also roads. We need to connect all this stuff around spawn with roads and use my legs. Running is what I'm talking about. And conversely, there will also be stuff, well, there is already stuff that we built away from our spawn area here. So as we continue to do that, that stuff will become part of our travel network. And for that stuff, we'll be able to use stuff like connecting it up through our nether hub if we ever do that. But tunnels through the nether, minecart rails depending on how far away they are from spawn, and also Elytra. And with all of these being self-imposed rules, none of them are really concrete. I've done pretty well so far not using Elytra around spawn just because well, I guess when you don't want to do something, it makes it easier to not do it. But one other thing I wanted to mention as just how I will be playing in this world, exploring new terrain will all be done on foot or by boat. I want to learn this world since we're not playing with a mini-map mod, and so far, manually traversing it has really helped me learn where things are. As opposed to just briefly flying over an area, I've had to slog through it. So I know there's an ice biome over there for collecting packed ice and blue ice. I know our tropical, what are they called? No, the warm ocean is that way, but then the big cold ocean where our guardian farm and the stronghold is that way. And I don't know if I would have as good of a sense of direction if I hadn't had to manually step to and from those locations. But once we've discovered them and semi set up there, then they'll become part of the network and we'll be able to fly back and forth from there, or have another tunnel set up or something along those lines, just to make getting back and forth significantly easier. So I said infrastructure, but what does that actually mean for today? Well, stuff like this. So we've got these 4 holes that go down into the storage room at each corner of our reflecting pool here. And I just did a little mock-up design of how we could connect that up to the path around it. Didn't really think about it. I didn't have a specific style in mind. I just threw some blocks at the wall. Not enough blocks apparently. And I was trying to decide what stair to use for these staircases. And I asked my kid, and she said all of them. So I don't know if I'm sure it's not actually all of them, but it's a good smattering of stair block options. But I like the white because it's kind of dark down in these tunnels, and I've got some lighting hidden in here. Utilized the new shelf blocks. All of this is up for being changed down the road. I just wanted to start polishing some of these naked areas and also lighting them up. I mentioned this last episode. I removed all of the how many tangents can I go on in one segment? What are these? What were these? Blast furnaces? I got rid of all of these and then put a sea lantern and some glass on top. So now the path around is lit up. And also, since we're already on a tangent, why go back? I've got four more lapis ore I've got to find. The rest are done. Let me sleep. For anyone following along at home, I'm going to lay some blocks down for you. I am constantly in conflict with this game. I consider myself a builder. Mostly because I don't fit in any other category. I'm equally bad at all other facets of the game. But the state of building in Minecraft is so off the rails, unhinged. I don't know how it doesn't just discourage anyone from even trying. But when I started this world, I built that little house and kind of tried to have a really diverse block palette, but also stick with the color. What color theory is that a thing where you got darker on the bottom and it kind of gets brighter towards the top to indicate shadows and all the blah blah blah. That's, I mean, I think it looks good. I'm pretty proud of it. But anyways, that's how I've been trying to build for a long time. I feel like, oh, I'm off on a tangent again. I got to keep building. I liken my journey with Minecraft building to, so I did band in middle school and high school and college. And in middle school, I was like first chair. I was I was excellent. I did all county, I did all state. I was the best. And then I got to high school and well, everyone else's best is doing still doing band also. And now I'm competing with them and I'm still pretty good. I still get recognized for being talented, but I'm not the best anymore. I'm pretty good. And then I get to college and it's the best of the best. And I feel like my growth as a builder has been stagnant or just not continued to grow as time has passed. I haven't really found a solution to that because like I said, I try to do this kind of stuff, but it doesn't feel like me. So I've tried to take that, that I recognize that is what good building is considered now, and mix it with stuff that I want to build that's just big and dumb, and you can tell what it is, but it doesn't necessarily have a style associated with it, which I guess is more my style. If I were to say I had a style. What else do I need? Need some bricks. Let's put some bricks in here. I'm gonna have to redo all of this because I can't do something and talk at the same time. So I'm really just doing something on camera while I rant. But I guess the gist of that is that one of the main goals for this series is to get myself excited about building in Minecraft again, because like I said, I consider myself a builder for what it's worth. Others might not, but it's one of my favorite parts of the game, and I have a desire to play Minecraft again for the first time in a while, and I hooked a bell up to one of the harvesters for the bamboo farm, so that goes off. I don't know why, just more noise and activity in the world. That's why that bell went off. Just pushing myself to not necessarily not do this anymore, but bring along the stuff that I do like and meld the two together. I'm doing the meld hand motion with my hands right now, sticking them, like intertwining my fingers, melding, meld. Can't do it with Minecraft. Yeah, that's all I had to say. I'll finish this now. Then we put down some of these, and then some of these. Then we place some lanterns. Whoop. And safety rail for safety. Add some agua. And then we do some bushes. And then after you bush, you go in and debush and then rebush. And then to finish things off, you may have seen in the background that I don't want long grass here. I don't want long grass here. I don't want a flower there. Thank you. You may have seen that there's some different colored grasses around here. This is a data pack I found called O's Colorful Grasses. Yep. And it's one of my favorite data packs I've ever found, and I will be using it every time I play from now until I never play Minecraft again, just because it's so simple, but it adds just a little variety, and it's so much more realistic, like running around in the real world. All grass is not exactly the same color green. Like when I cut my grass, it's like 50% weeds, and if you cut it down low enough, it all is kind of the same shade of green, but if you let it grow, it's all a bunch of different types of grasses, and I really love it. It adds a bunch of different colors of grasses, like the data pack title says. But yeah, ooh, there's some pampas grass too. It's just so cool. I love it. Check it out. But it's a little much right here next to the path. A little much here. Yep. Perhaps I should manually place in some short grass. Yeah, I don't mind it tall grass if it's like 3 or 4 blocks back from the path, but right up next to the path, I want the short stuff. Yeah, I like that, all right. It's not so bad. So paths, basically. And that's going to be easy. That's just running a path up to the door and connecting them all. That's just placing blocks. Everything's placing blocks. This is Minecraft. Why do I have such a hard time saying what I want to say in one continuous stream of consciousness? I told you I'd have to redo this. But this is the kind of thing we'll be doing around spawn. But I also want some kind of landmark building here at spawn that will serve as our departure and arrival point for travel away from spawn. So we'll keep our elytra there, as well as I got a bunch of these from piglin bartering, and I've never played with them before, but now seems like as good a time as any. So I think what we're supposed to do is just put them in water, and then we wait. The old wet and let. The old saturate and wait. The old spray and delay. The old humidify and stand by. The old make moist and rejoice. The old... And while little buddy cooks, we can take another look at this that we built earlier in the episode. Sometimes you have an idea for a dumb joke, like how greenhouse sounds like greenhouse, because they're the same words. But then implementing said joke is a whole lot more work than it's worth. This was 4 days. 1 day in building it in creative and gathering the resources, another day to build it, and then 2 days to let the copper oxidize. So I hope that bit landed, because there's a whole lot of setup in it. But I am really happy with the build, how it turned out. It's empty right now, obviously. We'll come back, and this will probably be an episode, if not a good chunk of an episode, figuring out the interior for this, because I do want to structure it like a house. We've got the moss farm in here. I'd like to try and move. We've got a flower farm over. Can you see any part of it? Well, it's about right there. Somewhere in here as well, but I don't know. Unless we do it underground, which is a possibility. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I want to. This will be our. We'll treat it as a greenhouse. So we'll have some smaller farms for whatever farms we don't have in the farming section down there. But this will be our plant storage building. Oh, who's the happy boy? Oh, my baby. You're here. Welcome to the world. You're so cute, little. Look at your danglies. Oh, sweetie. All right, what do we need to make him big? Because you're adorable and useless. Oh, he's so cute. What do we need? Snowballs? We need snowballs. I've never... Sun's going down. We need snowballs and how do you make a ghast saddle? Leather, glass, wool. Easy. Can I... Oh, he smiled. Oh, he sits. He's so happy. Where's a fence? Here's a fence. Come on, buddy. Stay right there. You're my little balloon. I'll be right back. Here, buddy. This is one of the cutest things I've seen in this game. There should be an option to keep them babies. I almost feel bad making you grow up. How many snowballs does it take? Probably more than I've got. Oh, okay. Hello. Oh, yeah, you're less cute. Let's make you a harness, I guess. What was it? Leather across the top, wool in the middle, glass. Black harness. Oh! Come here. You, come here. Alright, fine. Oh, very fine. Wait now. Snowballs. Can I just right-click you? Oh! Okay. We gotta figure out these controls. Wait, I want my lead back. Oh, I'm the lead. Wait. That's okay. Yep. Okay. And up we go. So supposedly these guys are really useful for building tall things. Use them in place of stacks and stacks of scaffolding, and you can move around on them without having to build platforms. I know going down, holding spacebar goes up, but holding shift just makes you get off of it, so you have to look down and actually move down. I hate the grown-up noises. They're not anywhere near as cute as the little ones. But now that we've got this guy, I've wanted to build something on this cliff since we started this world, and this seems like an ideal place to build a dock for our airship. Insert time lapse. So I don't know if we're done with this building. I might add a little bit more to the top just so there's some sort of interior room once you get up there, because we got some stuff we want to store up there. But I knew I wanted to build something semi-tall and then something that hung out over the cliff here just for the drama of it. And I was thinking about blocks I hadn't used yet, and then I remembered mud existed, and I wanted to build with that. And that goes really well with I will take a needle and pop you silly. Stop it. The weathered copper goes really well with that, and it's just an opportunity to use some blocks I hadn't used yet. I didn't have enough time for the copper to oxidize. I got a time guide. What a timeline, guys! I can't wait around forever, and also don't really have a proper copper aging facility yet. Maybe I need to work on that. But anyways, I will add some sort of horse storage situation. I guess you call that a stable. I'll add some sort of stable up there and connect that to a path. Actually, let me do that right now real quick. Hang on. And bam! Yay, paths! Also got another one of these corner paths around the staircase done, so I got one more left to do on that, but I'll do that at some point. I promise. Maybe. Probably. And last but not least, we've got some more homework for next episode. Let's do a little shuffle job. She's shuffling. All right. See what we got. All right, next episode, we have to build a mud and wheat farm. Boy, that would have been useful before this episode. But that's fine. I need to do that anyways because I love mud. That sounds weird. I like mud blocks. I do. I'm a big fan. Where's my sight glass? I really like mud blocks and all the blocks that kind of work with that color palette. But that's fine. I'm happy with that. I can do that. I should have done that already, but I didn't. But now I have to. But that's going to be it for today. As always, I don't know what I'm doing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.